Have you ever wondered why you believe the things that you do, why you have the opinions that you have, why you would argue a point with somebody so that person's wrong and I'm right? And I ask that question every day because as an educator, as the owner of a college, there's a lot of information out in the world, particularly about eating and exercise, business, all the things that I talk about, how to be healthy, fit and strong, how to have a career or business that you love, how to be financially free and how to have great relationships, communication skills. There's a lot of argument about all of those. There's a lot of experts in each one of those areas. And interestingly, as an old lady who's lived on the planet a very long time, to observe how many of those experts disagree with each other. So there's cardiologists who have the same qualifications who argue about exercise, argue about nutrition, argue about how you should look after your heart. There are endocrinologists who suggest that this is the right way to look after your hormonal system, and another endocrinologist will say, don't do that, it'll kill you. And they completely disagree. When you get down to the grassroots of a gym instructor, a personal trainer, a personal exercise coach, a social media influencer about your human body, it's really interesting to see how many different opinions there are. And I wish it wasn't a joke, because it certainly isn't funny. But there is a joke about ask 100 personal trainers how to get healthy, fit and strong, and you'll get 100 different answers, and most of them will contradict each other. So how do you know what's going to work for you? And of course, the only way to know that is to work out how your human body works, which is your anatomy and physiology. And then if you ever have to go to an expert, you can go there fully armed with great questions and find out whether or not that person knows what they're talking about. So I study the human body every day, but if I needed brain surgery, I can't do that myself. I have to go to a neurosurgeon, but I'd like to go there fully armed with great questions so that I've got the right person cutting into my brain. Now that's an extreme example, but neurosurgery is done every day. If I have challenges with my heart, I can't give myself heart surgery, but I need to know that my cardiologist knows what they're doing and they're not just regurgitating somebody else's opinion, or they've got 30 years of experience. It's just 1 year repeated 30 times, which is again another joke that isn't funny at all. How do you know that your expert knows what they're doing if you don't know how your own human body works? Which is, for me, why I'm outside today. I've had some very interesting conversations today with people who believe an expert. So they're given an exercise program, or they're given a medication, or they're given a medical intervention, or surgery has been suggested, and they just have taken that supposed expert's opinion, one person's opinion, one person's advice, and they're going to put their life in that person's hands. And that's one of the things I can never understand. And even more perplexing to me, even though I don't have children, is why you would put the lives of your children into the hands of an expert if you don't know anything, A, about that expert, and B, should we get a second opinion? Now, again, none of my business. But I deal with too many times people that have been told, today in particular, a person that was told you're going to die, and that was 5 years ago. Not only did they not die, but they're healthy, they're fit, they're strong, they're living their life. They changed their life completely because they were given that diagnosis. So they wanted to make the most of the time that they had left, and I don't think they're going to die anytime soon, barring accident. So you could take that opinion on board. Somebody tells you you're going to die. You could accept that and die, or you could say, why would that happen to me? How can I change it? What can I do differently to perhaps change the outcome of that diagnosis? Now, the interesting thing that happens in our world now, and I think this is for me very sad, is a lot of medical professionals will give you a diagnosis based on symptoms, but they never give you an alternative to surgery or medication or some kind of medical intervention. Would it be a good idea to ask your doctor, your medical professional, whoever's giving you advice, what if I was the healthiest, the fittest, the strongest I could possibly be? Would that make a difference to the outcome of the diagnosis that you've given me? So everything from perimenopause, menopause, obesity, mental health challenges, cardiology challenges, heart challenges, hormonal challenges, skeletal and muscular challenges, so osteoporosis, sarcopenia, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, all the diseases that we get diagnosed with, and a doctor will say either you're going to die or you have to take this medical stuff. What are the side effects of that medical stuff? How will they affect other parts of my life? Is there a better way? Is there a different way? Why did I get it in the first place? Which means perhaps I could prevent it from happening again, or I could get rid of it because now I know why I've got it. And as you can hear in my voice, I've come outside today for some fresh air and sunshine, because I've dealt today with too many people who have said, the doctor told me I'm going to die, or the doctor told me I've got this disease, or the doctor told me that my brain is doing this and I have to take this medication, have this medical intervention, or have this surgery, without ever questioning the doctor. Now, with full respect for people that have medical training, the challenge I've got with that is that most medical professionals disagree with each other. So if you can joke about 100 personal trainers will give you 100 different pieces of advice, if you're going to go to a medical expert, would it be a good idea to at least get another opinion? And for me, if somebody told me I was going to die, I would like to get more than one opinion. And there's too many examples, and even just in my life, but you can do the research yourself, of how many people have been told by a doctor, you're going to die, or you've got this medical challenge. And I'll rephrase what I'm about to say. The third biggest killer in the world today is medical misdiagnosis. The thing that kills people the most, and there's an argument about whether it's coronary heart disease or type 2 diabetes, and interestingly, if you talk to the right expert, they'll tell you that both of those are caused by the same thing. And if you're healthy, fit and strong, is it possible that you won't have any heart challenges, or you won't get type 2 diabetes? And type 2 diabetes, of course, is completely reversible and preventable if you're healthy, fit and strong. It's an interesting process, isn't it? But the third biggest killer is medical misdiagnosis. So they give you the wrong medication, or the wrong surgery, or the wrong information. You don't find out why you got the thing in the first place, and you end up on some kind of horrible medication that wrecks your life, or you end up dying. This is really, for me, a very complicated and controversial question. Why would you listen to an expert rather than find out for yourself how your human body works? I can't understand that there's any other answer than, I have to live in this body for the rest of my life. I'm going to work out how it works. I'm going to learn my anatomy. I'm going to learn my physiology. And the beautiful thing about both of those is they're pretty much, well, anatomy is a set science. You have one heart, not 17. You have two patellas, not 25. You have one brain, not 17. The anatomy of the human body is a set science. Physiology has some argument going on, but I always do this every day. Study and ask, and research and study and ask and train, and listen to all the different opinions when it comes to physiology, and what makes sense versus nonsense, because if it doesn't make sense, it is nonsense. What is logical, and now as an old lady, I'm very happy to share this. I don't listen to an expert that does just one part of the human body. So a cardiologist studies the heart, an endocrinologist studies the endocrine system, a orthopedic surgeon studies bones. That's lovely, but I want to talk to a medical professional that understands how the whole body works together. How does the brain work with the endocrine system, work with the skeletal and muscular system? And here's an embarrassing one. Just recently I was talking to a medical professional, and I got all excited because I teach a group exercise class with children, and I just taught the kids about myokines, which is the endocrine hormonal system from your muscle back to your brain to say, we have to be stronger for next time. So we were getting stronger. We were doing jump squats and push-ups, and I was sharing with these 3 and 4 and 5-year-old children that your myokines are sending a message back to your brain for you to be stronger for next time. Well, I shared that story with the medical professional who is involved with the brain, and that medical professional asked me what a myokine was. One of the most powerful systems in your body for getting fitter and stronger, but not just for your muscles to get fitter and stronger, but the muscle sends a message back to your brain to say the whole entire body, including the brain, needs to be fitter and stronger and tougher. And if you've got a fitter, stronger, tougher brain, is it possible that you're less likely to get sick, you're less likely to be depressed, you're less likely to have mental or physical health challenges? I want the human race to be healthy, and it's for a very selfish reason. Obviously, sick people cost everybody a lot of money. Sick people have miserable lives, and sick, depressed, overweight, diseased people are setting the wrong example for our kids. If our kids look at adults and see that old lady's fat, sick, weak and diseased, that's what's going to happen to me because she's my mother or my grandmother. that person's old, fat, weak and diseased, and they just told me that I have to accept that's going to happen to me. And if you ask most human beings, they all think that's what's going to happen when you get older. But the reverse of that, and why I get so excited, is I have met people over the age of 100 who have lives of better than most 20-year-olds. They're fit, they're strong, they're healthy, they still live at home, they still work, they dance, they sing, they eat yummy food, they make love to their partner, and they're over 100 years of age. So quality of life, I don't want to be 20 and have a crappy life, but wouldn't it be awesome to live an entire life, we're all going to die, of course, and by accident we might die early, but wouldn't it be nice if the things that you have control over, your health, your fitness, your strength, your positive attitude, wouldn't it be nice if all of those were at 100% for all of your life, which is this beautiful goal that I have, that whatever age it is, whether it's 100, 120, 130, 140, we could live longer than that when I get to be that age. And barring accident, I would like to have a great day, see the sunrise, do some great exercise, eat some yummy food, spend time with my beautiful husband and my beautiful puppy dogs, and then die peacefully in my sleep at 120, 130, 140, with great quality of life every single day. Now, the only way to do that, because you're going to live in this thing for 120 years barring accident or more, wouldn't it be nice to know how it works, rather than relying on some doctor who, and if you talk to most doctors now, their medical experience is how to diagnose symptoms and then give people a prescription for a drug. It's very, very rare for a medical professional to talk about prevention, to talk about cure, not just because most medical professionals now talk about controlling a disease. So if you've got coronary heart disease or type 2 diabetes or osteoporosis, or you've got mental health challenges, they talk about controlling them, not preventing them, not getting rid of them, not living till 120 as a healthy, fit, strong, energetic, exciting person, but just how to control your disease. Well, I just think that's horrible. That's like saying that healthy just means that you're not sick. No. Healthy is that you wake up every day with energy, enthusiasm, excitement for life, the things that I talk about all the time, the 3 E's, and you have a stack of energy all day. You perform at your best, you love what you see in the mirror, doesn't matter how old you are, and you get the results that you want from your life. So you're healthy, fit and strong, you've got a career or business that you love, you're financially free, and you have great people in your life because you are a great person. And how can you do that if you're not healthy? So if you want to be healthy, learn how your human body works and perhaps stop relying on so-called experts who all disagree anyway, which is why I've come outside today, because I needed to get some fresh air and sunshine to disperse the challenge of the medical professionals who disagree with each other all the time. Live your life to the max and learn every single day. Woohoo! Live your life to the max. Yeah!